Well, this week you don't just get one box of rocks. You don't even just get 2 boxes of rocks. You get 3 boxes of rocks. It's your lucky week. We'll save those for later. We're going to start with the big box. So this is Michigan Chert, and I'm going to zoom in a little bit here and show you some individual pieces. Most of this came from a rock hunting trip we did when we first got into tumbling. My son and I got into this kind of together. He was interested in shiny rocks and gift shops, so one year for Christmas my wife and I decided to get him a tumbler. I think it was a gift for both of us. And he kind of grew tired of it after a couple of years, and I kept doing it. But early on, we made a couple trips over to Lake Michigan, which is about 2.5 hours from here, straight across the state. I live on Lake Huron, and we decided we should go over to Lake Michigan to find Petoskey stones because we didn't know we could find as many Petoskey stones in Lake Huron as we can. I have since decided we may as well just stay here. But we made a couple trips, got up super early in the morning, and tried to get over there before the wind picked up. And one year we were successful. I remember wading around in the water. It was early spring, wading around the water, and there was ice on the water when we first got there. Kind of broke through it and waded around in waders. And we found some nice rocks. But one of the places we went on one of these trips, we went 2 years in a row, but one of the places we went is a place called Norwood. And Norwood has it's a little tiny town, and it has a park. And in the park you find all kinds of this banded chert. And so we picked some up, and that's what you're seeing here. So some of this was tumbled by itself, and some other stuff in this batch was tumbled with other rocks and then put into this box later. And it looks like I did a poor job of separating this out because some of this is chert. I think everything I've shown you so far is chert, and some is definitely not chert. Like that rock probably came out of Lake Superior, and that's not chert. Don't know what it's doing in this box, but it's a nice rock. So anyhow, some chert just looks like this. When we first started tumbling, and I know this is really early stuff from my tumbles, and we just thought, hey, let's try this rock, let's try this rock. And as you do that, you learn that you like some rocks better than others. So this rock, I would never bring this rock home today. Not sad that I brought it home way back then, and you learn stuff along the way. You learn what you like and what you don't like, but some of these are kind of plain, and I wouldn't pick them up and bring them home today. This one's kind of cool though. So I need some pattern like that to make a rock interesting for me. And even these banded ones are not all that exciting because they're not real interesting bands. So today I wouldn't pick this up, but if I was just starting, I might try it again. So if you want to find some cool rocks, you might want to check that out. Here's one that's a little prettier. I don't think this is from Norwood. I don't know where it's from. This could be from Lake Huron. It could be from Lake Michigan. But that one's cool. I would definitely bring that one home. Here's another one that looks like stuff that I find in Lake Huron. All right, so that's kind of what's here. You can see there's not that much variety. Here's one that's a little different color. That's a real typical color for here in Lake Huron, and also up in Lake Superior. But here's another one that's not chert. Don't know what it's doing in here. But that's what the chert looks like. Here's one that didn't get super shiny, but it has a really cool shape to it. Focusing, here we go. So that's box number 1. That was the biggest box. Box number 2, I can tell what happened here, but I don't remember doing this. Like I said, some of these are older. These must be ones that I either just tumbled in the Lotto tumbler, or I did a shortened tumble in a rotary tumbler and finished them up in the Lotto, but I don't usually leave stuff like that in my tumbles. So this might have been an early experiment with just using the Lotto tumbler. So on that other box, all this stuff was tumbled out, but I know some people prefer rocks to have a little more natural character in them. That's not how I usually do them, but I certainly see the appeal. So this looks like all that Norwood stuff. So kind of lumpy, still some holes and cracks and stuff in them. And they got the shine. And they look kind of like they did originally. All right, and then this last box, save the best for last. Oh, I got one big one. I got a whole video on that one, so I won't show it again, but a big one sitting up on my windowsill that I like a lot. These are from Lake Huron, and I like these a lot better. They're way more rare. That's why I've only got a small box of them. But I think the banding in these is far better than the Norwood stuff. Here's one that's really nice. The bands aren't just straight. You get these cool little curves and stuff in them. Isn't that neat? Here's another one with some pretty intricate banding. Not as nice a bands as you get on an agate, but still pretty good. Here's some that are a little less interesting, but still not bad. And then one of my favorite rocks ever, which I did show once before in the video where I tumbled the big one, is this one. This is from Lake Huron. I remember finding this. I have a rough picture. I got a bunch of rough pictures of this because I knew it was going to be good before I tumbled it. So I'll put in some before pictures of this one also in the slideshow at the end. But isn't that cool? Somebody linked to a picture for me once. I posted this somewhere and they said it looks like, I think it's called Polish Flint. It was Polish something, I think Polish Flint. Chert and Flint are basically the same thing. I think Flint is a darker color and one of them forms in limestone. This forms in limestone, the Chert does, and the Flint forms in something else, forget what. But anyhow, they're very similar. But the Polish Flint that they linked to looked almost exactly like this. It was really cool. Anyhow, that's one of my favorite tumbled rocks ever. Picked it up myself, tumbled it, and it just turned out kind of awesome. So there's my 3 boxes of banded Chert. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week.